3 hours before my wedding, my mother was banging on the gate, screaming that I had betrayed my family. But what my grandfather said to her that day ended everything. My name is Lily. I'm 29 years old, and I got married without telling my family. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I wanted one single day of peace. For most of my life, my mother Rebecca controlled everything, what I wore, what I chose, and especially who I loved. And when I met Ethan, she decided immediately that he wasn't good enough. He's a carpenter, quiet, steady, kind, the kind of man who builds things with his hands and never asks for attention. But to my mother, that meant he was beneath me. For 3 years, she made it clear I was making a mistake. Every dinner, every phone call, every family gathering came with criticism wrapped in concern. And then one night, she said something that changed everything. She told me that if I married him, she would stand up during the ceremony and object. That was the moment I stopped hoping she would ever change, and started planning a life where she couldn't control me anymore. For 7 months, I planned my wedding in complete silence. A small private garden, 47 guests, handwritten invitations, and one strict rule: no one tells my mother. And for 7 months, no one did. Until one small mistake changed everything. An Instagram story. Just 2 minutes online. That was all it took. On the morning of my wedding, I got the message: she knows. She's coming. She was 45 minutes away. And for the first time in my life, I didn't panic. I got dressed, walked out into the garden, and saw 47 people sitting there, waiting for me. Ethan was standing under the altar he built with his own hands, and my grandfather Henry stood beside me, ready to walk me down the aisle. Then it happened. A car door slammed. Then another. And then her voice echoed through the gate, loud and sharp. Calling my name, demanding to be let in. Everything stopped. People turned. And for a split second, my body reacted the way it always had: go to her, fix it, make it right. But before I could move, Henry placed his hand on my shoulder and said quietly, "Sit down. This one's mine." He walked to the gate, stood face to face with Rebecca, and said something that changed everything. He told her that he had walked me down the aisle because she had made herself unworthy of that honor. The entire place went silent. Then he told her the truth, calmly, clearly, that she wasn't protecting me, she was controlling me. That she had spent years belittling me, humiliating the man I loved, and now she was trying to ruin the one day that belonged to me. She tried to defend herself. Said she was only trying to protect me. And he looked at her and said words I will never forget: "No, you were trying to control her. And until you learn the difference, she is right to walk away." For the first time in my life, Rebecca had nothing to say. She just stood there, silent, and then she turned around and left. The moment she drove away, everything changed. The tension disappeared, the noise was gone, and it felt like the world finally went quiet. Henry walked back, sat down like nothing had happened, and simply said, "Now, where were we? We were at the vows. We were always at the vows." Ethan took my hands and promised to show up for me every single day. No fancy words, just truth. And I believed him, because he always had. When it was my turn, I told him that I had spent most of my life waiting for someone to tell me I was enough, and he never made me wait. And just like that, we were married. No interruptions. No drama. No control. Just love. Later that night, sitting under the lights, I realized something important. I didn't plan a secret wedding to hurt my family, I did it to protect myself. Some people might call that selfish. But the truth is, setting a boundary is not betrayal. It's self-respect. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for permission to be happy. I stopped waiting. And that's when my life finally began. Lightbulb moral lesson. Sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who try to control you the most. Real love doesn't restrict you, it respects your choices, your voice, and your happiness. Brain advice. If someone in your life constantly disrespects your decisions, don't be afraid to set boundaries, even if it's family. Choosing your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. The moment you stop seeking approval from others is the moment you truly start living your own life.